Hello, Gemini, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs for June 2023, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? As always, I've gone ahead and pulled the overall energy for the reading and clarified that with a separate tarot deck. I have the deck that we'll be using in the reading already shuffled, as well as the decks that I'll be using in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. All right, Gemini. It's an interesting start to this reading. So I feel like I'm going to probably need some clarification to really tie this together. So if I'm really vague in this energy, bear with me. Because in your recent past, you have embraced the flow of life with the Five of Cups. It feels like your recent past has kind of been a cycle of disappointment. It feels like every time you think things are going well, like you're hit with some level of disappointment or something just like comes out of nowhere and like knocks you off of how like this, like what you've built. And it just feels like you've been on this like journey of like up and downs, up and downs, up and downs. But it just feels like it's been tiring. Like I feel like you're tired of this Five of Cups energy. You're tired of this disappointment, maybe feeling like you have to start over or feeling like you have to rebuild or something along those lines. And I feel like it's been a cycle for you that has possibly been happening for like many years in your life. Now in your current energy, you have step up and lead with the World in reverse. This is you are being provided in this moment in your life with an opportunity to end this cycle. Because I feel like I said, the cycle is repeated for a long time for you. And you, like with the step up and lead card, it's like it's time for you to end it. Now, not all Geminis in this reading are going to end it, but if you want to get to the abundance that you're looking for, there's this need to put an end to the cycle. I don't know what this cycle is yet. It has to do with this disappointment, but I don't necessarily know what with it is within your control about this cycle. So hopefully we get some information on that. I mean, I feel like we definitely will. Like this feels like this is the point of the reading. So I definitely think we will get some information on that when we dive into tarot. But then your immediate future, out of nowhere, just says practice gratitude with the Ten of Pentacles. So it feels like what this is saying is this cycle is like the biggest cycle that is blocking you from your Ten of Pentacles. And this practice gratitude, I mean, practice gratitude is always a really great piece of advice, but I don't have any clue how it ties into this reading. And so we'll see that when I dive into tarot. But I do feel like in your immediate future in particular, it's about getting very real with yourself about how you have, about this cycle that has kept you from your abundance, from your Ten of Pentacles, from your long-term abundance. If you are not living the life of your dreams, it is because a part of you does not believe it is possible. So let's dive in and see what you are dealing with here, Gemini. Let's start by looking at your recent past, clarifying embrace the flow of life with Five of Cups. Recent past for Gemini, please. Clarifying embrace the flow of life with the Five of Cups. Recent past for Gemini. What was Gemini dealing with in their recent past? Recent past for Gemini. Woo! This is some intense frustration. The Queen of Wands in reverse can be like, oh, and I feel like it actually came out with this Five of Cups too. Yeah, I remember that. This Queen of Wands in reverse can be like resentment that builds to the point of like where it boils over. But I don't know how it plays a role into things here. So let me get more on this Queen of Wands in reverse. It's also like the Queen of Wands in reverse is also kind of like my fit throwing card. And I'll talk about what I mean by that. I don't mean that you are a child or that you are literally throwing a fit. But let me see if I can clarify and see which direction this card is going. Ah, okay. Yeah, the Emperor in reverse. Okay, so here is the deal. This is more the fit throwing card kind of energy. I used this analogy in some reading I did yesterday. It was either Capricorn or Virgo. Don't remember which one, but I think of this analogy of this fit throwing card as like if you are a parent with a child and look at the parent as the universe and the child as you. Again, I am not calling you a child or saying you're a child or anything like that. But say that this child has a lollipop, but they really want ice cream. And you're like, well, you can't have both. You can either have the lollipop or the ice cream. And the child wants the ice cream cone is like so much better than the lollipop. Promise this will make sense. So give me a second. And so you know this child really wants ice cream. Like ice cream is their favorite treat, favorite dessert, but you don't tell them that they're going to have ice cream. It's like, maybe you send them, if we're talking like universe to you, right? Send them messages through your intuition that they'll be getting this ice cream, but you take the lollipop away because they can't have both the lollipop and the ice cream. They can only have one or the other. And you know they really want the ice cream. They don't really want the lollipop that much. They're just kind of using that as like a placeholder for the ice cream. So you take away the lollipop and this child throws a fit, like is so upset. I really want my lollipop, man. Like I was having such a good time with that lollipop. Why'd you take that lollipop away? But then later that day, they get an ice cream cone and they completely forget the lollipop even existed. They're like, man, I don't even care about that lollipop. I have my ice cream cone now. So what I'm getting, I don't know why that's the analogy that comes through for this, but what I'm getting at with that, oftentimes the universe takes from us what isn't meant for us to create space for what is. However, when we don't believe that we're going to get our ice cream cone and we're settling for that lollipop, we think that that lollipop is as good as it's going to get. So we attach to that lollipop and we say, I need this lollipop. I want this lollipop. This lollipop is the best thing that's ever happened to me. When in reality, it could be so much better. And so you've been stuck in this cycle of almost like, for lack of a better word, settling. Like you've been settling for your lollipop when this ice cream cone is so much better. Now, take that with a grain of salt. Maybe you hate ice cream and you prefer lollipops, but you see what I'm trying to do there. So you've been controlling your circumstances in a way because you've been, it feels like an energy of settling, like settling for less than what it is that you deserve. And therefore the universe keeps like, it's like you keep experiencing disappointment because these things that you've been investing in, they're not actually meant for you. Okay, recent past for Gemini. Interesting start to the reading there, Gemini. Recent past for Gemini. Sabotage. You've been sabotaging your ice cream cone because you can't have both. You can't have both your lollipop and your ice cream cone at one time. I don't really know why, like in the analogy, but you can't have both. You don't want both. And it's almost like if you could see what the universe had, if you could see what this 10 of Pentacles looked like for you, if you could just see the possibility of this abundance that existed for you, you would not give a single F about that lollipop. Because you would see that, sure, you're a human being, you're going through real human experiences. Of course, you're going to experience disappointment when things don't go the way that you want them to. But it does not mean that they are not working out for you, Gemini. In fact, it means that this situation had to happen the way it did so that you could learn what you needed to learn to close this freaking cycle. It's time to close this cycle. And I feel like it's the cycle of sabotaging yourself by settling for less than what you deserve. Recent past for Gemini, please. Recent past for Gemini. This is for Gemini's recent past, please. The Six of Cups in reverse with the Sun. See? You want your past back. You think if you can get back what you've lost, then you'd be happy. But there's a reason that something didn't work out. Gemini, there's a reason that something didn't work out. And maybe it's like if you could redo the past, or if you could do it all over, you'd do it differently. I always say that, and this is something that took me a while to learn, but regretting how things went down is missing the point of life. Because every single thing that happens for a reason. Every single thing that happens to teach us something about ourselves, to help us move closer to what it is that we want. But the thing is, if we didn't go through those experiences, we wouldn't learn what we needed to learn to move forward to what we want. But if you look at it through the lens of regret, or wishing you could have done things differently, or something like that, which could be what you're dealing with, then what you're saying is, what is meant for me has passed me, and I will never have that opportunity again. I've messed up my opportunity at happiness. I've messed up my opportunity at abundance. And that is not true. That is not true. It never will be true. What is meant for you will never, ever pass you. But I feel like there's this, it's almost like Like, you lost your lollipop. And that's okay, because you have an ice cream cone available for you. But you got to learn the lessons associated with losing that lollipop to be able to receive that ice cream cone. And I feel like that's where it's such a childish analogy. And I don't know why it's the one that comes through, but it's like, it's simple, right? Because it's a fit throwing card. So I always think like child. But like, if you could see what the universe has in store for you, you would see that you have so much more potential than what has existed for you in your past. However, you have to be the one to step up and lead and break the cycle. You've got to break the cycle. Let's see if we can get more information on how to do that. Current energy for Gemini. Current energy for Gemini, please. Practice gratitude card is so strange to me. It just feels very out of left field. Okay. Current energy for Gemini. Ooh, that really just came out, huh? Oh. Okay. 7 of Cups in reverse, 5 of Pentacles in reverse, 3 of Wands in reverse, 6 of Swords in reverse. You have been, for possibly your entire life, in a state of lack. You feel as if you don't have what it is that you need to be happy or successful or fulfilled. And that state of lack has become your comfort zone. It's interesting because us as human beings, we have a tendency to resist and be afraid of our own abundance because our ego likes control. And your ego likes control in the sense that it likes to maintain predictability. It likes to know what things are going to feel like. So that's oftentimes when we get ourselves stuck in self-sabotaging cycles, is because we say, I know, on a subconscious level, of course, you're saying, I know exactly how this is going to play out. I know that this is going to end in disappointment. I know that this is going to end in heartbreak. And I know exactly how the disappointment and heartbreak is going to feel. Therefore, let's do it because it's predictable, right? The thought of stepping outside of your comfort zone and choosing situations that align with your abundance, that's freaking scary because you've never experienced that before. You've never experienced the success that you're wanting, the financial abundance that you're deserving of, or the love that it is that you feel you want. You've never experienced those aspects of your life, and you've never reached that level of success that you have absolutely no idea what that feels like. So there's almost this like natural resistance to it because you feel as if it's so outside your comfort zone. So what happens is you stay stuck in your comfort zone, and your comfort zone is this cycle. It's the cycle of choosing situations, of making choices that align with your resistance to your abundance instead of what it is that you want. Now, you aren't really consciously in control of these decisions because remember, 95% of your movements, choices, and decisions come from your subconscious, meaning that only 5% of the way that you interact with your reality is conscious. I say this in almost every single one of my readings because this concept is so vitally important to understand, that there is the majority of you that is making decisions for you, you aren't even consciously aware of. So consciously, you could be saying, I want a healthy relationship. I want to receive success. I want to receive abundance. I want to be fulfilled. But your decisions, your movements, your choices, your decisions are aligning with what it is that you believe is possible, what it is you think you are deserving or undeserving of. And those beliefs are overpowering what it is that you actually want. And those limiting beliefs have kept you trapped in this cycle. Now, I don't know what those limiting beliefs are quite just yet. I don't know if it's that you don't feel like you're deserving or you don't feel it's possible for you, or at the very minimum, what you've experienced is all that you believe is possible. So if you've experienced the best relationship that you've ever had before, you will think that that's the best that it gets. If you've experienced a certain level of financial abundance for yourself, you think that that's as good as it gets. When in reality, the possibility is far beyond what you've experienced. Your experience is such a tiny portion of what is possible for you. So the cycle is needing to break out of your comfort zone of lack and loss. Disappointment is what you are expecting because it is what you have experienced for so long now that you are used to being disappointed. Therefore, your decisions have aligned with that level of disappointment. So there is this need to get deeper into why the heck you repeat this cycle, where that stems from. So let's see if I can pull some messages for that. Current energy for Gemini. That was a lot. That was a big one. Current energy for Gemini, please. One more. This is for Gemini's current energy. Okay. Four of Pentacles in reverse, Two of Cups in reverse, Ten of Wands, Strength in reverse. This is lack of confidence. And that lack of confidence can be in yourself, or it can be in the universe, which we are the universe in emotion. So oftentimes when we don't trust ourselves, we're not trusting the universe, vice versa. So it's crazy how this message keeps coming through, because this Four of Pentacles in reverse and this Two of Cups in reverse, it's like this rug getting ripped out from beneath you, like separation kind of energy. Like so used to, you know what I think it is, Gemini? I think you are so good at building yourself up from the ground up. You're so good at maybe starting over, or at succeeding when under pressure, or at survival mode, essentially, that you feel that survival mode, that is where you thrive. You thrive in that survival mode. You thrive in that chaos. And it almost feels like not being in that, like the thought of being like happy, content, fulfilled, like that is so, in some way, shape, or form for you, unachievable. Because you believe that survival mode, that building and struggling and grinding, or whatever the case is, that is the only way forward. And I get it, because I've been there. But it's this belief that society has placed on you, that survival mode and struggle and fighting for things, that's the only way to receive what it is that you want. And so what happens is, I almost feel like, it's like, how do I put this without sounding? The best way to put it is, you have a tendency to invest in situations that are doomed from the start. And you don't do this consciously. But that's why you experience so much of this disappointment. And it's because, at the end of the day, your ego likes to be right. And so if you believe that you are undeserving, or that it isn't possible, or that it isn't available for you, or meant for you, or whatever the case is, and this is in regard to anything that comes to mind when I'm talking about this. This could be relationships and career and financial abundance. It could be anything. Your ego is going to search out situations subconsciously that align with the belief that you are not deserving, or it's not possible, or you're not capable of it, because your ego likes to be able to go, see, I told you so. I told you this wasn't going to work out. Current energy for Gemini. Current energy for Gemini, please. But it is time to break this cycle. I'm so interested to see what your immediate future says. Current energy for Gemini. See, you have such a negative outlook on your future. And I think it's because you've experienced this Five of Cups so much that you're just like, yeah, like it's like everything eventually comes to an end, or everything eventually hurts, or everything eventually falls apart. Like that belief has become your expectation, and your expectations are the root of your results. And it makes plenty of sense why you feel the way that you do about your life currently and in the future. But at the same time, what can you do to change it? If you can truly internalize the realization that your perception of your reality creates your reality, that the way that you respond and believe about your reality is the reality that you will experience. If you can really truly internalize that, what do you need to do to get yourself in alignment with your 10 of Pentacles, with the potential that is available for you, instead of what you have experienced? And I get it now. I really freaking think it's gratitude. Because when I was at the lowest point of my life, like lowest point of my life, like spent a few weeks in a mental hospital for suicidal ideation, even had a couple of attempts along the way, like lowest point of my life. The only thing that pulled me out, it wasn't therapy. Therapy helped, but it wasn't therapy or medication or affirmations or anything. Journaling, it wasn't any of that stuff. Those tools did help, kind of in terms of coping. But the only thing that pulled me out of my dark place was gratitude. It was the only thing that had ever actually shifted my life, because I went from focusing on all of the things I didn't have and all of the ways that my life sucked to focusing on the small things that I had. The shoes that I had on my feet, the clothes I was able to wear, the bed I could sleep in, the fact that I had you have a phone to watch this reading on, all of the small things that we have a tendency to take for granted. The more that you focus on that level of gratitude, and in the beginning, it's hard. It's like, wow, I really don't like the way that my life is. So what do I have to be grateful for? But the more that you focus on those things, the more that you realize things that you have to be grateful for start flowing in, because what you focus on is what you attract more of. And the more that you focus on what you're grateful for, the more that you literally create more things to be grateful for. You've been focusing on disappointment, and you've been focusing on all of the things that you had to be disappointed about, naturally, because you're a human being having really, human experiences. But you are way more in control of your reality than you think you are. And the only way to shift your focus from this disappointment into more of an optimistic, abundance-based mindset is to focus on the gratitude. That is what's going to create your 10 of Pentacles. Be grateful for what you have and excited about what you want. That is the key. All right, immediate future for Gemini, clarifying this practice gratitude with the 10 of Pentacles. So let's get some more immediate future for Gemini. I can't believe I just casually threw out my mental health issues in this reading. Immediate future for Gemini, please. It's funny because I'm now so grateful for that time in my life. You got to hit the lows to reach the highs. Immediate future for Gemini. Ooh. Okay. So, if the King of Wands in reverse, which I feel like is not within itself an energy, it's alluding to this Queen of Wands in reverse. It's acceptance of what didn't work out so that you can get to the root of why and move forward to your 10 of Pentacles. There is so much more in store for you. Like, I really wish that I can only do so much to verbalize the energy that I feel and I see, like, the higher picture of, right? Like, English language is only so deep, I guess. It only has so many words. But I feel like if you could see the potential that exists in your life and the way that you are settling and have been settling for so much less, you would understand what I meant by that fit throwing energy. You would understand why the universe keeps taking away your lollipops. It's like not even an ice cream cone. It's like a whole freaking ice cream store. Like it's like there's so much more that you are capable of. But you're settling and have been settling for so much less. And you know that. You know that, Gemini. And that's why I feel like this reading, it just feels like this is like a confirmation for you of some sort. Like, I don't know if it's like a wake-up call or what, but just like this realization that like, dang, like I am in charge of my life. And if I'm not happy with the life I'm living, then there is the only person that can change it and make it better is me. Take responsibility for that. It's hard. It is so hard to do, especially when you're in an energy of struggling and, you know, wading through that darkness and experiencing that heaviness. Like, I get it. I really, truly do. But take responsibility for the way that your life currently looks so that you can start to create the life that you ultimately want. Seriously, Gemini, it's possible. What you want is possible. All right, immediate future for Gemini. It's like a wake-up call from spirit. Look at that wheel turning in your favor. This wheel is trying to turn in your favor. Like, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, this wheel, the universe wants everything to work out for you. Just as much as you do. But you have to move forward from the disappointment that you've experienced and shift your perspective from that disappointment toward this optimism. And it's not toxic, like I'm not talking about toxic positivity. You don't have to look at your life and be like, oh, wow, everything's great. Everything happens for a reason. And I'm happy all the time. That's not what I'm talking about, because that isn't healthy. Recognize the parts of your life that suck. Yeah, this does suck. The situation that I'm in, it freaking sucks. It hurts. I've been through a lot and I'm tired of it. And yeah, I recognize that. But it's always a but there at the end. I also have all of this good going for me. I also am so grateful that I still get to watch tarot readings or work out in the morning. Like this morning I did that to myself. I was like, oh, dreading my workout. I was like, no, you know what? I get to work out. A lot of people don't. And like the more that you can shift your focus from that, oh my gosh, I wish I could just explain how much better life gets. My boyfriend, so he works with kids. It's going to play into this, but he works with kids and he talks about this book. He talks about it with me a lot and it actually really helps me. It's called, it's a book or like a story or something, but it's called, the concept of it is bubblegum brain. And it's being able to adapt your mentality based on your circumstances and not to say, you know, I'm not capable or this isn't possible or I'm not deserving, but adding like a yet to the end. Like I'm not capable yet. This isn't possible yet. I'm not there yet. Because that right there within itself, it immediately shifts you from a negative to a hopeful positive, right? So don't avoid the reality. Don't avoid that things are sucky. But shift your perspective from, yeah, things are kind of sucky to, but, like the yet or the but they have the potential to get so good. If I've been through this much and every low is balanced out by a high, then things can only go up from here, right? That is going to be the way that you really do start to change your life for the better. Immediate future for Gemini. Immediate future for Gemini. Ooh. So you have the Three of Cups in reverse with the Ace of Swords in reverse. Your immediate future, in order to shift your perspective to that positive thinking, you're going to have to go back to this. You're going to have to go back to these disappointments, and you're going to have to get to the root of why things happen the way they did. It's the only way that you're going to be able to shift. Because again, the way you perceive your reality is a product of your experience. It's not your fault that you've experienced these crappy things, right? It's not your fault that things have happened the way they did. It is, however, your responsibility to get to the root of them. Get to the root of why they happened so that you can move forward from them and start to create better. Because right now you're not looking at things clearly. There's not a clear perspective on why things went down the way they did. But once you can find that, I feel like you'll be able to create some space to then start to shift your thinking, right? Healing is the first step. And with that healing comes the shift. All right, Gemini, we're going to hop on over to this extended. I'm going to clarify these messages and dive into some advice, you know, some more of like what you should do, how you should heal. Not should heal, how you could heal. Because there's no right way of healing. Then I have an advice card to pull from Spirit at the end. Thank you so much, Gemini, as always, for your support of my channel. It does mean the absolute world to me. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. Bye, Gemini.